So welcome back, everybody. In today's episode, we're going to be going over a new attachment that I have right here, and it's because you recommended it. So if you're not familiar with this piece of equipment, this is called a forestry winch, or a skidding winch as they're often referred to. And long story short, this hooks up to the tractor PTO here, and it's designed to pull logs and trees out of the woods from multiple different angles. Now, even though this is a winch, this is also considered a skidding winch. So you'll see we got attachments back here and notch points to actually hang choker chains and skid logs out of the woods. So not only will it assist in bringing them to you, so we can cut them up and buck them into whatever size length logs that we want, but then we can drag them behind this piece of equipment right here just by hanging the choker chain up in here. I'll show that in today's video. So let's dive right into this. We recently got hit by Hurricane Idalia down here in Florida. We have trees down everywhere, and several of y'all commented, hey, you should really look into getting a forestry winch. So I've been doing that for a while, and I decided to buy one. All right, so this particular model is the TMG-FW40T, which I got from this company that I had never heard of before. And now that I've got on their website, I'm kind of addicted. They literally have attachments for everything from skid steers to tractors, sawmills, all kinds of stuff. So let's take a quick look at the back end. You'll see right here, this is a pivoting head. It'll pivot all the way up, all the way down, so you can pull trees or logs from up a hill, from down in a valley, or on flat ground like we have here in Florida. And this is that back section I was talking about. All these notches right here where you can hang choker chains in and pull multiple trees out of the woods. That's a good thing about this solid steel back plate right here. The tree is designed to actually hit up against this. Let's take a quick look at the back side before we talk about some more features on the front. But it's very difficult to see. There's 200 foot of 3/8 cable wound up in there. There's also a clutch system that is driven off of the PTO. And then this is the operator handle right here. As you pull that, it puts tension on that clutch pack, ultimately reeling in the cable. If you get this winch or any other one, something else to note, see that knob right there? That puts tension on that cable spool. So whenever we let off or a tree drops down and pulls the cable back out, we can tension the wheel so it doesn't spin quickly, allowing the cable to come off and be loose in there. Kind of similar to what happens to a fishing reel. This bar right here with the loop over there actually locks the spool in, so you have to push and unlock it before you reel in, or you can pull it back to lock everything in. Now you'll notice the angled plate down here on the bottom, that's designed purposely to dig in. So if I had this on a lighter weight tractor, or even this one, because this has 8,800 pounds of pulling force, you always want to lower this down and anchor that into the ground. So now whenever we start pulling that direction, instead of it pulling on the tractor or pulling on anything in the transmission, this plate will dig into the earth, kind of giving you an anchor point. So to put this in use, all we do is pull this center pin right here that you could actually pull a small trailer out to the woods with you. Right now I'm using that to hold my cable, and you'll see it comes with one choker chain end right here. So long story short, you slide your choker chain through here and it latches in that groove. Now we can pull. And here's that head I was talking about. We can actually pull from uphill, on flat ground, or from downhill if we needed to. And this pivots as well. I should also mention I looked at a lot of other brands before I pulled the trigger on this one, and honestly they were just all out of my budget. I couldn't justify them. This particular unit was half the amount of money of all the other brands I was looking at, literally half. And to top it all off, this came with free shipping as well, free freight shipping. Whereas a lot of the other units I was looking at, they wanted $500 to $700 just to ship them. Now there's all different types of models out there with higher pulling powers and everything else, but for the price of this one, I could absolutely justify it for the amount of trees that we have down out here on the property. So let's fire the tractor up, kick the PTO on, and let me show you how this thing works. We're gonna just skid some logs out across the barn. We've got a full cutting and skidding episode coming up to where I'm gonna take this out in the woods, and I'm gonna show you how I'm really using this to pull logs out to the trail where I'm working. Now on my John Deere tractor, all tractors are gonna be different. You've got to sit in the seat, put your emergency brake on, and now I can operate the PTO from outside of the tractor. My other tractor, for example, you have to be in neutral with the parking brake on, and then you can engage the PTO while off the tractor seat. The other good thing about this winch is I can literally operate it on the lowest RPM of the tractor that I have. If you just want to increase your speed, just rev up a little. Now keep in mind, the clutch is not engaged until we pull on that operator handle, so you're nice and safe around the equipment right now. We can actually free spool the cable out. It comes out nice and easy, and I'm gonna walk it all the way up to the barn up here and choke a tree. We're gonna drag it down here, and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna skid it back. Now with me having 200 foot of 3/8 cable on here, I can go way out in the woods, way off of my trails, and pull trees back where I need to. Now what I'll also be showing in the next episode where we go out in the woods and start cutting some trees down is how we can use snatch blocks and pulleys to pull from really odd angles. And the cool thing is with a winch like this, I never have to move the tractor. I can leave it in one location. All right, so I picked this nice choker chain up off of Amazon. See how it's got this nice end right here? So whenever you typically have trees laying on the ground, you can shove that underneath, grab a hold of it, and pull your chain out. That way you're not trying to figure out how to feed a chain underneath. That's a constant problem. But I happen to have a log here that's already bent up on this end, so we can attach this nice, quick, and easy. All right, we'll just take the end of this open chain, choke up on this log, slide everything through. It'll pull tight on itself. Now we can take this same end right here, shove it right through. And because we're going to skid this log back, I want to get this cable really close up to the choke point. I'll show you in just a second why that's important. All right, so now all I have to do is grab a hold of this lever right here, pull tight just a little, and it starts engaging the clutch to the PTO that's spinning right here, reeling everything in. And the more tension you put on this, the more pulling power that you have. I definitely don't want to sit here and slip my clutch too much, but you can let right back off and stop pulling at any point in time. All right, I went ahead and revved the tractor up just a little to increase my speed, and I can go up a lot more, but I want to work nice and slow whenever it comes to pulling logs like this. Now I can just let off at any point in time, and the cable drops. And you see the way that cable just dropped right there? That's another reason we want to properly set tension on this. So whenever a log drops the cable like this, the spool doesn't keep going, allowing the cable to come off of the spool. All right, let's put some pressure back on it. Here comes our log. This is so nice. This is really going to speed up the process of me pulling logs out of the woods. All right, so I'm already happy with as close up as this log is, but if you wanted to, you could feather it up a little more. Just be careful not to pull the cable all the way into the end. But you can see I'm about at my limit anyways. I really don't want to pull it no higher than this. This is why I choked up so close on this chain, because now we can pull the chain back out of the cable. So we'll just go back and loop right through here. I want my chain nice and tight, so whenever I lift up on my 3-point, it raises the log off the ground. And don't forget, this whole back wall is designed for logs to kind of bump into as you're skidding out. So I could hook 2, 3, maybe 4 logs back here before I make my trip out of the woods if I want to skid like this. So now let me show you how this works. So now when I raise my 3-point arms, it should lift the log up off the ground so it doesn't dig in. That's plenty good to skid out of the woods. And if for some reason you pull it up to where, well, it's just not choked correctly, let back loose, use your cable to pull your log in or out, readjust the tension on your chain to where you can get it up off the ground. All you need off the ground is just a few inches bumping into this plate, and then it doesn't dig in the entire trip out of the woods. All right, so what y'all think about that? This is gonna be an absolute game changer for me, getting all the trees and logs out of the woods here at the property and over at my parents'. We literally have more trees than we can go after before they'll rot, thanks to the hurricane. Also, living down here in Florida, well, guess what? We get severe thunderstorms, we get hurricanes. This is not gonna be the last time we have trees getting blown down on the ground. So I think I can absolutely justify this machine, especially for the price that I got it at. Seriously, go check out the link down there. All right, coming up in one of the next episodes, well, we're gonna go put this to work. As we keep getting cool snaps down here and it's nice, comfortable working weather, we're gonna go out there and start pulling all the logs and trees out of the woods that we can before they rot on us. So you're gonna be seeing this get used on the channel a lot. So if you want to know anything else about this piece of equipment, current pricing, specs, anything like that, I'll put a link down in the video description where I bought mine from. Thank y'all for watching. We'll catch you on the next video.